Hi, I'm Carol Berglund and welcome to my YouTube channel. I do acrylic pour paintings on this channel. I do other paintings as well, but this YouTube channel is specifically for acrylic pour paintings. Please watch, you might find it very informative and fun. And if you like what you see, give me a like, share it, and subscribe. It's free. Hi, Carol Berglund here with Carol's Art Creations. So I had this pour that I did that is just awesome, and I asked for, you name it, help me name it, and one of my great Facebook friends, Holly Erickson, came up with the most perfect name. It's called Convergence. I love it. That's the name. Thank you so much, Holly. And every which way you turn this painting, you get a different thing that you see. To me, it looks like all the water waves just kind of converging together. And that's how she got the idea for the name. So thank you so much, Holly. Anyway, I had this one, had a little mishap with it, of course. I used the same palette to create this and this one. And although it was okay, let me put this down. Although it was okay, it just, compared to that one, it just didn't speak to me. I just didn't care for it. This is a much bigger canvas, an 18 by 24. So I was hoping to recreate that on a larger scale, but no, not even close. I poured over it and I didn't like it. I poured over it again and I really hated it. So I took it outside and I hosed it off with my hose. And you want to turn it on the jet spray because you need to rinse all that paint off. And it actually cut down the water pressure and cut down to some of this. So I guess this wasn't cured quite enough to stick on there. Or maybe the paint was thinner right there. But I'm going to pour over this one tonight. Excuse me a minute. I have some allergies, so I'm constantly drinking water. And tonight I'm going to use up all my colors. All of these colors are with the Saks True Flow Heavy Body Acrylic. And I got some metallics that are the Americana Decor. I've got some white paint that I mixed up. That's a combination of chalk paint, satin enamels, and a regular white. So I think what I'm going to do is fill up a cup and really put a lot of paint in it. The reason I failed before was I really didn't have enough paint and I couldn't quite get it over to the corners, and I really had to stress and work with it. So when I did that math calculation, it said I needed like 15.6 ounces. It wasn't enough. So I've got this one and it holds 36 ounces. I don't know if I'll use that much because that's 4.5 cups. And if you're over in the metric world, that's 1,000 ml. So I think what I'm going to shoot for is right around between 20 and 24 ounces of paint. And I'm going to put down like a base coat. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to pause you. Put down a base coat because that's kind of boring. Then I'll come back, layer up my cup, and we'll do a pour. We'll see what we get. Hi, I'm back. I've got my black base coat down. And this is my gloss black. It is actually the Apple Barrel gloss black. Mix 1:1 with Floetrol. And I am using up all my colors tonight. So I've got to wash out these bottles and make up some fresh paint. That's kind of a hassle washing out the bottle, but I do like the ease of the squeeze and the utility. I do know a lot of artists just mix it up in a cup so they can just pour it out and toss the cup, but I don't want to create that much waste if I can help it. But I do have this thing right here on the edge. You have to be careful of that. As your paint dries and it forms that little crust, it can fall into your paints, and then you don't see it. And when the paint dries, there's this bloop. Then you see it, and you can do nothing about it. So this is just the blue. All of these paints, except for the metallics, are the Sax, which, you know, I already told you that. I need to quit telling people over and over. I did put Cell Maker. I used the Artist Loft silicone oil. And I put about 4 drops in here, and there's about this much paint. This is an 8-ounce container. So I've got Cell Maker, so I'm definitely going to get some cells. And I'm going to use a lot of this red. As again, we're using up colors. Oh, I have been busy. I am a realtor out here in my area. And this COVID thing actually increased sales. I think a lot of people quarantined have been thinking about moving and thought, you know, while we're quarantined, we can pack up. A lot of the realtor services we provide can actually be done online. And then when I do meet with people, we do wear a mask and stay at a conference room table. So we do practice that safety protocols by our governor. But anyway, I'm happy. I sold a beautiful home. It hadn't closed quite yet, but I'm very excited. And the seller's very excited. This is always great when you get your real estate needs taken care of. It's a big purchase. Okay, and this is the Americana Decor Emerald Green. It's nice metallic. I like to kind of drizzle it off of the stick because it can be quite heavy. And I don't want it to sink. I don't want to use too much of this green, but I want to use it up. And what I mean by that is I want to disperse it evenly and not too much in one spot. Green can be a mean green and really take over. Plus I've got this just regular green color I'm going to put with it. And that last painting, Convergence, it was wonderful because that gold, which I'm going to mix up some more of that. That gold actually washed over some of the other colors and blended with them. So it like put a cast on top of the color and it changed my orange to a nice bronze. It was wonderful. Okay, and this is the Chrome Orange in the Sax True Flow. Heavy bodied, mixed 2-to-1 Floetrol. And a little bit of the Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish. Gotta get a little brighter colors up in here. Ah, there goes my green. Boo boo. Just gonna scoop that back up and put it in my cup. That's what I like about a vinyl tablecloth. go. Paper towel is your friend. I do use a little bit better quality paper towels because you need something to really wipe up that paint with. And even that still leaves you with a lot of smears. You just toss this away. Okay, careful. I am using a little bit of brown. And this is the Saks True Flow Burnt Umber. But I had a little accident. I went to thin it with water and I put a little bit of the white paint in it. And I scraped it out and it was like really a icky color. So I put a little black in it. I'm not going to use much brown anyway. I use it real sparingly. And I have watered it down, so if I need extra paint, I can put it around and just use it as a flow aid where the paint just helps grab the paint and pull the paint forward and it tips off. But I do want to put a little bit in because sometimes the brown just blends with the color just right and can really add a lot of like contrast. Put that over here. This is the Americana Decor Metallics Pearl. So I'm going to put this on top of that brown. I'm hoping that that brown will attach to this, or it will attach to the brown and give it like a pearl essence. Some of the browns that I've seen with like a metallic pearly looking tone to it, or shimmer, really pretty. Beautiful, actually. And this is Fire Red. I think I'm going to put it purple. I really don't want pink. So I'm going to put the purple in. The Fire Red has some of the silicone oil as well. So I put it in the bright red. And then this is the Fire Red. Okay, let's do a check. I am at not quite 12 ounces. 12 ounces is 1.5 cups, or 400 milliliters. I really wish I had a cup that showed me the ounces and showed me milliliters. As I understand it, it can't really show you grams because gram is weight. But anyway, okay, do I have any black left? Not a lot, just a little bit. Black is something you want to kind of use sparingly at times. And I have some other dark colors, so I wouldn't want to use too much of that, and that is used that up, so I'll wash that bottle out. I do have a little bit of the white. I may pour it in at the very last. I'll just go again with my blue. This time I do want to try to get rid of the ones that are almost empty. And we've got some fresh colors. Trying to remember what I put next to it. Unfortunately, I can't go back and watch the video while I'm doing the video. I'll go ahead and put a little green in. What the hey. That's empty enough to wash out, I believe. And then I'm going to put this in. This is that Metallics Emerald. Might as well use it up. Just use up your paints today. And I'm going to put a little yellow on top of that. I just think yellow on top of green just really kind of lightens the green up, kind of transforms it. And I wish I had more yellow, to be honest with you, but and orange. Oh, I hope I get a beautiful pour tonight. I could use one. And let's see, let's do the purple. That leaves me with the two reds. I'll put a little brown and pearl and reds. So this is an experiment, is exactly what I'm not thinking. I'm just dumping color. All right, let me get this red in. This one has the Sailmaker in it. So I'll take this off. I'm using up my colors. Yay! Nope, out of that. And this is the Fire Red. It also has the Sailmaker in it. But before I use that, I think I'll put a little brown in. Okay, where am I? I am not quite at 20 ounces, so good, I'm getting close. Do this pearl. The metallic paints can be quite expensive at times, so you might want to definitely use them up. Don't let them get too old. They make beautiful pours. I know some artists have done just all metallics with maybe like a white or a black that's not. And it's beautiful. I've been thinking of trying one of those. Where are we? Okay, I'm at 20 ounces. I have a little bit of the white. This is the Saks True Flow Heavy Body. Also have some chalk paint in here. And I have some satin enamels. And yeah, it's the Americana Decor Chalky Finish. That gives really billowy effects. So I'm just going to pour this on top. These bottles, most of them, especially the small ones, you can't get a bottle washer down inside of them. You can these. These just came from Walmart in the garden section. They're $1. This flip top can sometimes be a little bit of a hassle, but you can get a bottle washer in there and it's got a larger opening, so I do like that. These are the bomb. I just love these. You can always wash paint off of them. I'm pretty good to wipe my bottles down. A lot of artists, they show you the paints they use and it's just crusted paint. I hope I always take the time to wipe my bottles down. I'm not super clean or anything, but I don't know. One of my things. But I guess if I did more paintings and more often, I would get the cake built up. I'm moving these bottles out of the way. This is just sparkling water, no alcohol. Confess I had a little before. The other issue with this COVID thing, I used to have bangs. The bangs grew out, or they're still kind of growing out. But the lady that does my hair demanded that I let them grow out. I trust her. She knows best. So this is just a straight pour. A lot of that white will get tipped off. And this cup was full. Right now I've got it so close to the canvas that hopefully it's just coming down in a straight line and kind of pooling underneath. There's our rings, some of these. Ooh, I'm seeing sales come up. Kind of reminded me of Christmas. Okay. The paint's with the silicone in it. It's definitely starting to bubble up and come up. I have a creaky floor over here. Actually, I might need that. Okay. You always hear us say, let this rest. In this case, because I'm starting to get some cells, because of the silicone oil in here, I'm going to go ahead and start tilting this. Some people torch and then tilt, but torching brings up more cells and I don't want them to be ginormous cells, and I can tell Some of these are pretty big, even though I shook those bottles real well. Oh, this is interesting. I see a little red cell I'm going to lose. I hate that. Go ahead and go over and back. These bigger canvases are a little bit more cumbersome to work with. This paint is really flowing quickly. Got some beautiful striping up here at the top and a big elongated cell. I don't want them that big or that long. Well, I don't want to lose too much of this green, but I'm not liking this. Never hold your hand over your painting. I'm not liking this side here. I'm going to tilt some of this off. But not too much. I'm going to come back and get this corner and then see what's left to tilt off. So I just want to make sure that I don't have too much tilted off and then all of a sudden I don't have enough. Now let's see, I probably don't have the weight of my paint where it needs to be. The weight of my paint's down here in this corner. I need it to get back to the middle. Okay. Lower this canvas down so the angle won't be so bright. It's running really fast. Darn, I don't want to lose all my red. Okay. I find it hard working with these bigger canvases. I'm going to put some of this brown on to help it run. That will tilt off. I keep touching my arm with this painting. Okay, let's go back this way. Alrighty. I'm going to come back down this way. We see the most beautiful cells that I like in my runoff. It's like, what is happening? Come on, canvas. Make me some beautiful art tonight. Ah, well, got a lot of things overstretched here. I think I have more than 20 ounces of paint. Yeah, these are overstretched. Grab some of this paper towel. Wow, what a mess, eh? Yep. So I do like this black space in here. Got some overstretching, some crescent shaped cells. Oh, sometimes when you try to clean up paint, you just smear it further. All right. I do hate getting paint on me. Yucky. It's not good to be an artist and hate getting paint on yourself. I promise that will happen. So some of these colors, the brown didn't accent as well as I had hoped. It's a little muddy. I love this over here. And maybe if I torch, more cells will come up. So I think it's almost time to torch and see what we get. But I don't hate it, which is good. I don't hate it. That's always a good thing. Some of my paintings I hate. I do bad things to them. I scrape them, I sand them, I hose them. The poor paintings. All right, let's try to get most of this paint wiped off. Because my torch is definitely paint encrusted. It's the one thing I can't seem to get wiped down quick enough, and the paint's already dried on it. Just something about the plastic and the metal. But Well, now that makes a difference. Okay, I'm loving that. Even though I got some wonkiness there and there. All these other little cells that just, that torch heats up that paint and brings that up. Really kind of had hope more would come up through there. I'm just gonna tilt it up and to the sides. Just a little bit because it kind of helps stretch the cells a little. Excuse me. I'm going to move this over here. That just seemed like an accident waiting to happen. As I heard when I was a kid. That's just an accident waiting to happen. Okay. So I am really loving this. I'm loving it since the cells come up. This side looks a little bit more vibrant. This is a little more subdued, pinky, lavendery, and you know, some of that brown. So it's not quite as vibrant, but I do love it, and I love this lacing effect right through here. And how this is kind of sunk and some cells are coming up. I love those bright coral looking cells. I didn't use coral paint, so it's probably a mix of the yellow and orange. And I love those stripes of green. My green is kind of a little more subdued now that I've torched. I'm just running my finger underneath. You see us also use some of these tools we have to scrape underneath because there's paint dripping down and pooling. Of course, that drop is connected to that string of paint, and it will just keep pulling the paint down. Get all that paint. So I like it. I really like it. Now the cells are coming up. I love it because I love cells. If you're not a cell person, you might not like this. But the blankness where there are no cells is good because it just kind of breaks it up and gives a little bit of balance. But right in here is awesome. I got the green, and that red looks coppery. It looks like a copper, maybe that pearlescence or the metallic properties of the green. That is just beautiful. So I'm happy with that, and I'm going to leave it alone. And I know you've heard me say that before, but this time I really mean it. Definitely leave it alone. I love this pour, and I'm going to let this dry, let it cure, and it will get varnished. And like all the rest of my art, it's for sale. So if you see this in... Hi, Carol Berglund here. So this is the one I poured last night. And wow, what a change. It super changed. This is completely filled in. All these cells came up like a cell explosion. Some of that white, you can see the little lacing. Some of the green has turned into lacing. As it sunk, all the colors rose. And so it's just real interesting. You can see lines of purple. It's kind of hard with probably you're up there on the angle iron where I've got my camera mounted. But yeah, all kinds of colors appeared and emerged, and it got a little darker, got a little lighter. So what a change. You can see it around the edges starting to dry. But all this is wet. Don't touch the wet part. But yes, I've got a lot of these lighter coral looking cells that came up. And it's just real interesting. And when you're seeing it in person, this doesn't look gray. And of course you've got some pops of red coming up through here. So all in all, this is a very interesting painting. And I really do like it. It's kind of brighter and then kind of dulls, but even the dull looking colors are these beautiful purple hues, of course with the greens. So it's interesting and I really like it. But wow, did it change. Sometimes they dry about where you leave off. Sometimes they really change. This one really changed. But wow, this is real shimmery up and through here. The part that's dried right in here, it does get a little duller when it dries, but when it's completely dried and cured, we'll come back and put a gloss varnish on it. Actually, this one may be the one I experiment with resin on. And the reason why is if I come down and I look just down straight and I look straight across, I'm seeing all kinds of little lumps and bumps, just like little bumps up under there. And I wonder if it's because I didn't really torch the base coat real well, or if the paint's a little too thick. Could be probably a factor of reasons, but that's okay. Straight on, you don't see those bumps. You have to hold it absolutely to the side and look across that way. But gloss varnish will cover it. Maybe. Resin would be the best because resin's very forgiving, self-leveling, and it hides imperfections. So this one I may resin when it's time. Of course, to resin it, you really got to clean off all that silicone oil. So most of the time what I do is I wind up going ahead and doing a varnish on it. And then once I've got the varnish on it, it's easier to do the resin. And I'm just telling you this because it's what I've learned from YouTube. I haven't resined yet. So that will be an experience, but this will be the one I think I do try the resin on. So I wanted to update you, show you what happened, show you the dramatic change, and from the segment before, wow, this really has changed. I hope you enjoyed this, and of course when it dries, I'll bring you back for the dried version. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like it, share it, and please subscribe, completely free. Thank you very much.
Hi, Carol Berglund here with Carol's Art Creations. So this is the painting that's all dried now. I dried a little dark, especially in this corner. I still like it, but I think I might embellish it. Maybe paint some translucent blue to make this look like a river. Or if I turn it vertically, which is hard to do, maybe paint a tree and water in the background. Oh, let me turn this around, sorry. This is a big canvas, so it is hard to photograph and video. My easel's kind of not there, but I do like this painting. I don't have a name for it, but I'll think about it and I may turn it into a flowering tree with a stream underneath. We'll just have to see. Stay tuned and thank you for joining me. Oh, and the little bumps that I talked about that you could see eye level, they're actually small indentations now. They sunk and inverted when this thing dried. Oops. There. Got a bit of a glare on that one side, which is good because that side is very dark. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this painting and stay tuned. This one is not done. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.